But staying on the last subject, there was something else I was thinking. One of the reasons why I think G called him G in the last video. One of the reasons why I think he deleted that video is because when you got these type of people on these type of videos, they don't think black people are listening to them. So it's like I'm free to say anything. Not only they is like anonymity, like they just hide behind the keyboard, but it's like this is the space where like other people are hearing. My audience is not black men or black people, so I'm free to say this crazy shit and not hear any backlash. So, but because I was like dropping at least like 6 things in this comment section, breaking down his shit, and like I said, I don't see his video. So, it's that type of stuff. That's just like, this is basically what you say behind closed doors, and in the black community, we all had like these notions. I think it was Ice Cube. He had that in one of his songs. And it's like I was watching this one Unreal tutorial. And I'm sitting up here just listening to the tutorial about like landscapes. Like, how you doing? How do you do the landscapes, dude? And so, this doesn't work with this. So anyway, dude, he was saying something, because in these game engines, you have the parent, which is the original. The children are the copy. So he brought up the fact, like, then he said he was from North or South Carolina, one of them. Oh, this ain't gonna work. And so he was like chilling in the video. And so the dude was next to him, and they was kind of like lowly talking, like, no, dude, no, like, yeah. Because they knew they messed up by saying that. And I'm like sitting here like, come on, dude. For real. Like, I'm listening to this thing. I'm not trying to hear nothing racist. I'm not trying to like hear anything about, just focus on talking about the tutorial, about the landscape shit. You don't have to bring no racist stuff into it, but lo and behold, he did. And it's like, assuming that nobody like me would be listening, because people in that field largely look like people like the two nutsacks sitting on the couch. So that's kind of my point. It's like, you think people of other groups are not hearing you. Like I said, I wouldn't be saying some fucked up shit about Hispanics, because it's like, I'm thinking like, oh, my audience is largely black, so I don't have to worry about it. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, anybody could watch your shit. So to act like you don't have to worry is bullshit. So like I said, that's why, dude, in my opinion, that's why I think he took the shit down. Oh shit. So I'm like, dude. And even going back to the whole Neil Druckmann thing about in the last video, about like how he killed off all these black people in his games, but then he's crying he's liberal. I mean, the liberal community and all this other stuff is like, just because you claim liberal really doesn't mean anything. Because look at Amy Cooper. She said, I voted for Barack Obama, but she sure was quick to call the cops on the black dude, getting all in his face and everything with the anime point. And I'm like, And even if this stuff gets back to, like, even though I don't care if he cares, you know what I'm saying, but if dude tries to like change his stance and be like, oh, I'm gonna put a black person in there because I know people watching me now, I'm gonna put a black person in my games is gonna live. I mean, maybe it's good for your soul, but it's just like, it just looks like pandering, and you're trying to correct the shit. And you shouldn't even have had black characters in this shit and gonna kill them off. It's better not even have them in there then. So like all that like pandering, this shit well, don't mean shit to me. Cause I'm a real one about mine. I'm like, look, just what's up with the fucked up shit? No, don't, no. No. Even though I think I can. Yeah, no, I'm not. No, fuck it. No. Cause in my time, come on, dude. I was about to say, I hope this shit don't crash on me. Was it my time trying to figure this out through a video? I'm just saying fuck it basically and do it on my own. Cause this process is tedious, to be honest. I mean, it is a tedious process. Like this, like I could see people not liking it, but I mean, this is how the sausage is made, my friend. And plus, this shit is so interesting doing. Like for me, because I mean, you see how the game is being made. Side note, I'm gonna just leave this ambient occlusion here just in case. But it's just so interesting seeing how this is made. It's it's like wow. Because I mean, some nodes, some materials have like a lot of branches. I mean, it's like you'll see like in comparison, like this whole thing will be filled up. I mean, this is just basic beginner shit right here. Cause I'm just basically setting it up. Cause in wait, is this it? Yeah, cause like I'm not clear on how to get the glossiness out of the floor. So it can almost just basically be dry instead of like shiny or wet. But the fact that I did this, most of the work is done. And then once you have this save, you never have to go back to this again. Unless you wanted to add something else to it. Like instead of the floor being brown, you made the floor like a whole different color. Like white with the like the black or the dark lines, or red or something with white lines in it. Like, I mean, there's ways to do it. I don't know how to do it yet, but like I said, just setting this up here is cool enough. And then I wish I knew how to switch, because I just had to keep putting materials in this. I mean, objects, and I don't want to do all that. But I'm going to have to. Yeah, because to me, this is still like a new process. Because I've been saying the whole time, like, I needed to learn how to do these materials. Just to be doing this shit. But anyway. So if I'm like going back to the whole thing with G, I'm like, my man, just don't be a dumbass. And just recognize the shit. If he claims he cared, like how he said at the end of the video. But like I said, he didn't care. He was just being sarcastic, just being a little snot nosed, sarcastic little bitch, whining about the shit. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna, like I said, I'm the last dude to be talking about like, oh, you gotta be mature and shit. I mean, I got a whole bunch of Nerf guns. I be shooting them shits off. I'm the last person to be talking about like maturity in that type of aspect. But I mean, it's just I always grew up. There's a time to play and there's a time to be serious. And it's like just in my normal life, you know, I do whatever But in this type of like aspect with this situation with those two black ladies, I could see where they're coming from. And I'm not even like getting emotional about it. It's just I recognize exactly why they're saying what they're saying. Come on, dude. Anyway, yeah, I understand exactly what these chicks are coming from. I mean, despite how this dude feels or not, it's just like, and then it's like I said, some of the stuff, yeah, it may come off as annoying or something. But like I said, listen to what, don't hear what they're saying, listen to what they're saying. And then he was like, I hear what you're saying, but it's not no but. It's just like, let's just listen and shut the fuck up, dude. Just hear what these two chicks gotta say and just be like, I never looked at it like that. And then it's not like you have to change anything different about, like, there's some things that's going on in white communities that I hear what they're saying. I'm like, I mean, I could see why you feel this certain way. And even still, blaming black people for your problems is not black people's fault. But it's like, you gotta have somebody to blame, and the easiest people to blame are black people that didn't do absolutely nothing. And this is another thing. Matter of fact, I was watching this one video about this dude. Like, it was about like, it was something about racism somewhere. And so there was this woman. She was a white lady. And she went to this old white guy. And she went to him. I wish I could find that video. But she went to him and she asked him point blank, how come you don't like black people? He sat there and looked at her for a while and was like, I don't know. And I'm like, what? I found that to be funny, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie, I laughed at that. Like, he was just so racist, he didn't even know why. My man was so racist, he said, I don't know. And it wasn't like that he was mad, like, I don't know. He was just like, I don't know, bro. That shit was funny. But it's just like, you got all these dudes, like, you don't live around black people, you don't hang out with black people to be like, I don't like these group of people. Like, that's what makes this shit extremely ignorant. I mean, like I said, especially going back to what I was saying about like the music genres that people listen to. Like, people are not the same anymore. Like people are all into different shit nowadays than ever before. Like, you'll find like it's this one YouTuber I watch, and people hate this guy, even though he does talk about this particular game a lot. But it's like, I mean, if I still watch him, not all the time like I used to, but you know, when it's something interesting, I'll check it out. But if you don't like the dude, then just stop watching him. Don't hate watching. Now he comes from a state that's kind of like notoriously racist. But I don't think this guy is racist though. He seems like a cool dude, want to get along with folks. But it's like, just say if he has some type of particular like feelings about um people. It's like, I play the same games you play. You know, so that's something that we could all be in agreement with. And then it's like, and then it's another thing, like we basically all share the same type of, you know, similar interests. You know, like if you cool with me, I'm cool with you type thing. And so, I mean, to have these type of problems, why even have these beliefs in 2020? Um, just the whole thing. And like with these like crazy notions and shit, like you'll find a lot of black people celebrating Christmas or Thanksgiving. I mean, even though like the whole Thanksgiving thing, I mean, people, truth be told, nobody's talking about like the whole pilgrims and Indians. It's just like people just eat a big dinner, and that's it. Like nobody's not even really saying what they're thankful for. To be honest, it's just like, let's just get together around a big turkey or like ham and just eat. We have ham for Christmas. You know what I mean? So it's just like thanking and all the pilgrims and all this shit. Nobody's doing that. But anyway, I know for me, I'm not. There's a big Flintstone bird on my table. I'm eating that shit. But it's just so crazy. Like hell, even for me, like I said, I'm not saying like this goes for everybody, but it's like, here's a little insight for me. This is just for me. Chicken isn't my favorite food. I, I'm talking about euros. I'm talking about like pizza, and depending on what type of hamburger and fries. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to like rush to like Popeyes or KFC just like I'm black, I have to eat chicken. Matter of fact, my friend's brother, like, I don't know how he is now, but I remember he said he didn't like chicken, and people was kind of looking at him like, huh? You see what I'm saying? But like I said, he might be different now. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, to stop with the whole like stereotype shit, cause this shit is corny, dude. I mean, of course, certain things affect us because it's happening to us, type thing. But like, if you talk about like video games, movies, you know, you actually have some black friends around, you'll be surprised how similar a lot of people are. And that's basically what I was saying in my last video. I was like, growing up in the suburbs, how we grew up we knew racism existed because I talked about in the last video about my mom had to like, step to the police like, yo, these boys wasn't even near your car. And then my mom had to, because all this stuff was when we was little. My mom had to talk to this white chick because she was saying something crazy at the end of Pocahontas. She had to step to her on that shit. Like, word. She didn't. The white chick didn't say nothing after that. And then my mom had to get in this boy's face because he called us the N word. That type of stuff. But those instances was so far and few between. But in one of the other videos, I made the statement like it was almost like where we lived, it was almost like racism didn't exist. But truth be told, though, how we grew up was like on some like regular shit. Like I said, we had like I could name like there was so many white neighbors on our block. There was Frank, he was an old man. There was Sean across the street, Mark next door. But then he moved and Mike moved in. His mother was white. There was Maynard down the street. Around the corner was Cody. Then the next 2 blocks over was like Nick. And we just had like white friends, but nobody acted like this was he's white and we gotta treat him like he's white, and they're black, so we gotta treat them like this. Like, no, we was just kids. It was like coming of age. We was kids playing video games, going to the park, going to school, trying to get girlfriends. That's all it was. It wasn't this craziness like how it is now. Like I said, my mom stepped to the police, not all in his face, like all these boys ain't do. She just went up to him calmly and just stated the case, like these boys wasn't around your car. And he just backed off. He was just like he was like, oh, he just backed off. It wasn't like how it is today. Now it's just like the whole bombardment. That's probably not a word, but it's just we're just being bombarded by all this racial shit, and it's just crazy. You know what I mean? And it's just like as a black person, it's almost like it's mandatory that you know what the deal is. But all I'm saying is looking at it, thinking about it then and looking at it now, it's almost like 2 totally different universes. Not even worlds. It's 2 totally different universes. It's not like how Earth and Mars are like next to each other. I'm talking about this universe versus like another planet with a Earth-like planet near the Goldilocks zone. I'm talking about that shit. It's like on some whole different stuff now, and it's like, wow. But like I said, in this space, I mean, I just recognize what's going on. It's like with that Griffin dude. I said his name. I said, anyway, fuck it. He was just acting like a dumbass. I mean, now since the cat is out of the bag, he was acting like a dumbass. And I'm like, you know what I mean? I really should try to get the shininess out of it, because then I'll have to go back. Once I figure it out, I have to go back to all of them and add 1 or 2 nodes in the same place for all these over and over again. And I really don't feel like doing that. Anyway. It's just ridiculous. And then it's like you hear like these dudes be like, oh, we don't want to have politics in video games. It's because it's going to say some shit that's going to make you feel bad. Because Ghost of Tsushima has politics in it. Nobody said nothing about that. But it was like their whole Red Dead Redemption argument. Like this one dude was talking about, like they talked about the Native Americans. Who fucked up with the Native Americans? Who fucked them over? See, and so now it's going to be like, it's attacking me. Even though you have a story set in 1899 in America. Like, don't you think that was going to pop up? And it was like, and this is a different dude. And it was just like the guy, he was saying, what did he say? Like, he was on some crazy shit. Like, it was cool what Sadie was like in the beginning, but basically when she started taking charge of her life, he didn't like her after that. So it was like, so you like a woman being the damsel in distress or being helpless? Like, come on, man. What type of man are you, bro? See, it's that type of stuff, because it's like everything has been catered to white males this whole time. Now it's getting to the point where it's like Rey from Star Wars. Oh, this is like, we gotta demonize it, or it's like a Mary Sue. It's a problem now. But it's just like, this is why people have this like kind of like pushback, because you're whining about something that's not even an issue. It's like, okay, so what? Like, even if Rey, we'll take her for instance. She came on the scene. She was like, I can kill Starkiller and Darth Vader at the same time on some real shit without even using a lightsaber. I would be like, damn. You see what I'm saying? But then people will be making videos about this, like, oh, she's an Ultra Mary Sue and she's too OP. Like Darth Vader ain't OP. And it wouldn't be a problem to me. But you got a segment of white people, white dudes talking like this is a problem. Like somebody's taking something away from you. Like, calm down. Like, you had Luke Skywalker. You got Starkiller. You got all these other dudes. And then there's other products for you to like. And nobody's taking nothing away from you. And then it's just a story. Like, it's not like this was the end all be all of Star Wars. Like, they were going to make other Star Wars. And then if there was a dude, a white dude, and he was on some like crazy shit, like, I'm like Palpatine or something, but I'm like a good guy, I'll be like, if the story was good, fuck it. I'll rock with the new Palpatine dude. I mean, but that's why people looking at white males kind of funny. Because it's just like y'all whining about problems that's not problems. And it just kind of comes off, it honestly comes off weak. Like, talking about the Mary Sue chick, like all that, it's like, okay, so it's like you have a problem with like rather like strong female characters. And like, again, I was listening to this podcast and this dude was talking crazy shit like we should take women's rights away from them. And I'm sitting up here listening to that like, damn, you want to take women's rights away? That was some crazy shit. And then I was like, but here's the thing. I don't know if this dude had kids. He sound like he didn't. But if he ever had a girlfriend, because most likely these are some incel dudes. And this is coming from somebody who hasn't had a girlfriend basically since 08. I'm technically an incel, but I'm not going to be whining about girls and like, oh, they ain't giving me no sex. It's just, I stay in my attic and make video games. I mean, of course, they ain't going to come through the window. But anyway, he was talking about taking women's rights away from him. And I'm like, so you telling me if you had a daughter, you would want somebody to take her rights away from her? You'll be the main one with the pink hat marching in the streets talking about, oh, women should have more rights. Because it's like, oh, the whole thing about women, they get like, you know, like the men's rights activists, and it's like all women, they 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 get protection in courts and shit. It's like, yeah, there is a double standard. Women get shorter sentences than men do in that aspect, but I'm not gonna be beating up mad women for the shit. I'm like, oh, you should respect my rights as a man. It's just like I see it's a slight bias. Like, I mean, women they shouldn't have longer jail sentences. Dudes be doing, if the dude did the same thing, he get a longer. I see that, man. But even though, truth be told, it honestly should be fair across the board. It should be fair. But like, I mean, some people feel some type of way. But I'm not gonna be sitting up there saying to the extreme that women shouldn't have rights. I don't have any kids, so, but I'm not gonna say no dumb shit like that. And then when if I have a daughter, then I gotta eat my own words. Like, oh damn, I don't want nobody taking rights away from me. Or it's like, don't take her rights, but everybody else is whatever. No, this shit is crazy. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know, man. I mean, yes, everybody should be fair and equal all across the board. I don't give a fuck. And then with the whole thing about reparations, yes, we built this country for free. Everybody else got reparations from the Jewish community, the Asian community, the Native Americans, but the people that built this country didn't. And it's like just correct this wrong, and we could all be happy. Don't like, I'm gonna give everybody else. So like, you got 3 kids, I'm gonna give 2 out of the 3 kids cookies and milk, but the other kid is just assed out. What type of shit is that? And it's just the way how this country gives money to even our foreign enemies. It's like, but there's no money for reparations. It's like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a real problem. But talking about like taking away women's rights, it's like, nah. But everybody should just, you know what I mean? But some people don't want that shit because they feel like something is going to be taken away from them, which wouldn't be. But it's like, my man. That's all I'm about. I'm just like, look, everybody just be treated fair, no harm, no foul. Fix the shit. I mean, motherfuckers shouldn't. I mean, yeah, the whole jail sentences and men's rights. It's like, yeah, but everybody should be equal, so it wouldn't be just men's rights or whatever the case is. It's just like everybody gets a slice of the pie, man. And if that's too extreme, then that's you fucked up, bro. You can't stomach this shit. Damn. What was I doing? Where I need to be? Roughness. See, wait a minute. Hold up. I see it. I see it. Every time I put the roughness in, there's always the shine pops up. Like the glossiness of it. Yeah, wait a minute. Which one is it? Now, since I'm actually paying attention to it, what is it? Yeah, I think this is it. And let's see, you bump this shit up and see what happens. No. Well, yeah, wait. Okay, you're right. I mean, that's a fix. Yeah. Right, right. Because somehow this thing gets rid of the the slider here when you plug that bitch in. But anyway, yeah, my whole thing is just like, look, everybody get in how they fit in. Everybody be on some cool shit. And that's all anybody could ask for. Treat me fairly, I treat you fairly. None of this crazy goofy shit. Because, I mean, still in 2020, we still don't know how we operate as a group of people. You know what I mean? Like, that's some crazy shit. Still, in 2020, damn near almost 2021, we're still trying to figure each other out. That's some crazy shit. And it doesn't even make sense. Even though you could try to rationalize it and all this, it's still not gonna make sense, dude. I mean, this ain't even like, I'm not hating on nobody. Like, just demonizing a group of people. I mean, of course, like, you hate what happened, and it should just be fixed. But nobody would be taking nothing away from you if it gets fixed. You know what I mean? But it's just, people don't see that shit. And there's just some whole different shit that's going on, man. And nobody's trying to fuck with you, dude. Nobody's coming into your house fucking with you. And this whole crazy shit like black people don't grow up or lived in the suburbs. I'm like, since when? I mean, I live in the hood now. You know what I'm saying? But like, most of my life, I grew up in the motherfucking suburbs. Like 20 years of my life, I grew up in the suburbs. From 87 to 07. So, and even when we moved, like, in the city, from like what, 07 to what, 2014? Yeah, I mean, it wasn't really that bad. But like here though, like I said, homeboy got shot right across the street. Wow, 8 times and lived. I'm like, damn, that's a tough dude. And like I said, that whole thing was crazy about how that happened. Cause like I said, I don't like calling white dude's white boy. I just have, it's just like, man, it's ridiculous. But somebody put a grill in our backyard. And I asked my neighbor, like, whose grill is this? He was like, oh, that was a white boy. He must have put it back there. And so, because I kept seeing these two white dudes coming down the street. Now, that's kind of unusual living here, seeing like a white dude walking down the street. This is a black neighborhood. So I was like, nobody gonna say nothing to this dude? Come on, man. Like, I didn't know who he was. They just called him white boy. So when the dude got shot across the street, he was like, I've been seeing him. He's a light-skinned guy. And so when I asked my neighbor, like, what happened? And he was like, yeah, they shot a white boy. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, we call him, his name is Anthony. We call him white boy because his mother's white. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, why'd you call him that, though? Like, that was confusing. I was like, I just didn't know what to make of that. And it was like, yeah, but like, anyway. But like I said, I grew up in the suburbs most of my life. So this whole thing about this, like I said, it's just, I don't know what's going on. And it's like, you live long enough, you start seeing crazy shit. And like, who knew this was going to be a thing? Because even growing up, we knew about Rodney King. That was like the biggest thing. And this was like, I'm like, what, 9 at the time or something like that when Rodney King got hemmed up. And as a kid, when you see other kids fighting, and after the fight, somebody has to say, can we just all get along? And everybody laughs, ha 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 ha. But then growing up, knowing the severity and the situation of that whole thing, because I saw the documentary LA 92, that was some real shit. But like, as a kid, it wasn't like how it is now. And it was just like, even then, growing up in the suburbs near a big city, that was like still the only one we knew. And it just felt like it was just that one thing. And like, oh, what was the brother's name? I think his name was Sean Bell in New York. And the whole thing about the Central Park 5, like, we didn't hear about that until like damn near a decade later. Like, but I'm not in New York. Now, in New York, that was a thing. But here in the Midwest, it was just like Rodney King was the only one. And maybe another incident, but Rodney King was the biggest one. Again, I'm 9. So it's just like, the whole can we all just get along shit. As a kid, that shit is funny, but it wouldn't be funny now. Because like I said, no one is, as much as I know, that's a serious thing. So, but now we live in this era, and it's like all you hear is just like multiple Rodney Kings, and it's like more serious. It's just so crazy, like looking back at it, like, damn, like what the fuck happened? In my own kid world, looking back at it. Now, like I said, it's just like this shit every fucking day. You know what I mean? And nobody grew up afraid of the police. It was just like, they were the police. They did what they did, and that was it. It wasn't like, oh, here they come, and your heart starts beating. your heart sinks into your stomach. Nobody was doing all. It was just like they're there. That was it. And the whole story I said about the cop and me and him when I found the skeleton in the dirt, and it was trees on like forest on both sides. Like I never thought like I could get lynched. This cop could kill me. It was just like, what the fuck is this skeleton here? I'm seeing like damn near almost a whole skeleton of something, and it wasn't like a chicken bone type carcass. It was like it looked like it was like a small dog or child or some shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm concerned as a citizen of the suburbs. I'm concerned. And me and the cop was just chilling, waiting for supervisors to show up. Nobody was thinking nothing crazy. Cause I'm not afraid of the cops. I'm just like, and I'm not on some like all the cops treated me good type of shit. Cause like I said, when I was a kid, the cop accused me of doing some crazy shit that I didn't do. 2013, I'm walking down the street coming from the most non-threatening places possible. I'm coming home from the library. Here it is, this cop car come up accusing me for shooting, and they were like, where'd you come from? They didn't have their guns drawn on me though. And I'm like, I came from the library. Mind you, it was raining and it was thundering. So when this whole thing was happening, they heard shots. I was in a brick building in a library on the second floor while it was thundering, so I wouldn't have heard nothing. But you know, they didn't draw their guns on me. They was asking me questions. I'm just going home. You know, but I'm still looking at, because one of the cops got behind me, and I'm looking at him like, yo, bro, just don't do nothing, son. And so it was like whatever. But like I said, that was in '03 before Mike Brown. Ever since Mike Brown happened in 2014, the shit got crazy. I'm like, wow. And it's just like you recognize this certain shit, and it's like you got to navigate these type of spaces. You know what I mean? Like I'm very aware of the situation, but it's just like I said, coming from my own perspective and how I grew up, it was just a whole totally different thing. I mean, hell, even like I listen to X Clan, uh, Public Enemy. Seeing the Malcolm X movie. You know what I mean? But it was just like I said, it wasn't just this constant thing like how it is now. And it was just like the Klan and the skinheads. Now you got all these other nutsacks forming up these little goofy militia groups and shit. And it's like, come on, dude. It's like we damn near went backwards. Or were we always in the same place all along? You know what I mean? Because like I said, I didn't grow up in LA when the whole thing. Like I said, I'm in the Midwest. You know? And then you start finding, then like growing up, then you start finding out other shit later. Like, damn, the cops was taking black people and torturing them in black sites in Chicago. You find that shit out. You find that shit out later. And it's like, whoa. But as a kid, you don't see that shit. But see, kids now are different. Because like I said, now it's a whole thing when you got cell phones. There was no cell phones in 1899. You know what I'm saying? No, we had landlines with the cord on them bitches. And then the most it was like C-SPAN or some shit. But that was like foreign affairs. We didn't want to hear that. And again, as a kid, who cared? But you just be like, dude. See, if we just all got together, sang Kumbaya, this wouldn't be a problem. You know what I mean? This just would be a problem. Can we sing Kumbaya? Nope. Because people don't want to sing. People don't want to sing Baya. Some people just want to stay mad. But anyway, I'm jumping off of this subject. And I'm going to talk about these nodes. See, you keep doing this because, like I said, I keep doing the same thing over and over again. Again, I'm not concerned about it, to be 100% honest. Because this is how I learned this shit in Unreal. With this and Unreal are two different programs. Largely speaking, they have the same rules. Some of this shit is different. But it's the repetition, constantly doing this over and over again. It's the thing that's gonna help you learn this shit. Because there's some nodes in, like a lot of nodes in this that Unreal doesn't have. And even like how this whole thing happened. Like I'm like connecting this, and then you just put a node in between it and it will figure out where it's supposed to go automatically. That, as far as I remember, that wasn't in Unreal, but it's in here. You know, because it's like Node Wrangler add-on, you know, it's like this whole thing. So it's just, you know, and just constantly keep doing it over and over again. You know, for me, I'm going to remember this. And then, hell, even with the hotkeys in Unreal are different. Like, you could just push, like, 3 and click, and it'll pop up with a constant vector, and you could change the colors with that, or the LARP, L right click, or multiply, M right click. This is not, like, I don't think you could M right click nothing. See, it just, I don't even know what the, no, I must have masked it. See, I'm like, damn, what the fuck did I just do? You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck I did, but see, that's like a whole different thing. Oh, wait a minute. No. Just to make sure. You know, just to try to change this up a bit. Wait, did it work? Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna just do the floors. And then off camera, just try to do as many as I can. Because I think the floors and then like something else are the two biggest folders with the most material, like textures in it. And then I'm gonna just do this and then I'm gonna bounce. See, yeah, there's like a whole bunch of these, like 20 of them in this folder. Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can speed this up. And I keep leaving ambient occlusion out because I just can't figure out like what's a good way to like I'm not sure where it's supposed to go in this. Cause like I said, this is the first day that I basically been doing this. So it's like I'm not even familiar with all the ins and outs to be honest. But I'm just basically going off of like what I knew, what I learned in Unreal, and how certain stuff like this goes that I've seen. But like as the weeks go on, I'll be. I mean, it's just keep getting better. Like as a. No, not there. Just as a creator, you're gonna keep getting better. Cause I really no, I can't. No, I'm not gonna say that. It depends on how far or what is cool. Like I would do other nodes besides like the plain like nodes I'm doing here. Cause like I said, what if I wanted to change? Let me actually see if it's possible. And I'm trying to think like what I know one of them should be like what color ramp? Okay, yeah. I'm deleting this though. I mean, hell, even if you wanted gray floors like this, it's like fuck it. But let me see something. Let's see what happens. See, yeah, see, you change the colors of the shit. You got pink floors, purple floors over here, motherfucking blue. Look at that shit. Had them shits. Cause like this will almost technically be like the 3 constant in Unreal. And then let's see if we like let's see about this. See, look at that, changing the colors of them shits. Uh but like I said, I'm just basically doing the basic shit so I could have a foundation to build the rest off of. See, but like I said, this is You know, like even like little shit like that, like oh, like look at that, like purple floor, like purple wood floors. That's great. You know what I mean? Just learning that, like what could you make out of this? It's some real interesting shit, and that's why I like doing this shit. I even know it's okay. I'm like, what the fuck is it still? Oh man, wait a minute. Yeah, what floor? What was this? Um. Oh. Surprisingly, this doesn't have ambient occlusion on it. Huh. That's very strange. This ain't even. No, no, this ain't wood. Shit, it's like brown marble or something. But anyway, whatever. Now, what am I using this for? Normal. Roughness. Is this? I should leave it like this though, cause it would be kind of like the way this material look would be weird if it didn't have this the gloss over it. But whatever. I mean, oh, see now it's super glossy, like on some real shit. Fuck it, I'm gonna keep it like that. Regardless, like I said, this don't look like wood. But the way I got it, it says wood veneer though. That's the crazy thing about it. But shit, I'm gonna just go with it. Fuck it. I mean, that's the name of the where I was getting this shit from. So it's just is what it is. And then even this, I mean, this looks like wood. See, eventually, yeah, I'm gonna start getting the complex nodes. I'm gonna start getting into that shit. Cause I was like practicing with like, cause the back of my phone is like gray, but it has this like glossy, it looks like it's like gloss, but it's like this rainbow shine to it every time it like reflects off the light. When light reflects off of it, and I attempted it yesterday. It came out pretty good. So that's like, then I was doing like some like diamond like materials, and so that was cool. But like it's gonna eventually get to like this whole like tree, like branching this like this, and then you're gonna start seeing groups, and then shit branching from that. I somewhat got into it with Unreal, but it was just mostly the same basic, like basically what I'm doing here. And that was like I said, it was cool. I had a lot of them. I mean, I was getting into material instances and landscape coordinates and all that. But other than that, it was basically like the same what I'm doing here. Because when I eventually started getting into the more complex, then I started like getting on my grind to really get this going. So I never got like a full chance to I never got like a real good chance doing like the whole branches and like multiple complex shits. Cause I seen somebody like do some shit like that, dude. I mean, wow, that shit was crazy. Oh, then I forgot what it was called, but it was like procedural node, and it was like it had a mountain on it. It was like a whole thing. Now that is some crazy shit. I mean, just looking at that shit and even thinking about it is overwhelming than a motherfucker. I was like, whoa. Getting into that shit, like that's on some master level shit. This is just basic bitch shit. You know what I mean? This is basic. Just connecting the normals and the base color and the roughness and all this shit. But what dude did, I was like, fuck it. There's no way I could do all that. But again, when I was attempting to, I got hooked up with this. So it was like, I didn't have the time. Because this felt way more important. Not saying Unreal wasn't important, but this was like character creation. And I love a character creator. So this was like character creation, clothes and hair and shoes and shit. Unreal, how I was using it was mostly like for terrain. And with terrain, kind of like, I wouldn't say a general rule of thumb, but it's like you don't have to be perfect in the way of making like a character. Like you don't want characters with like lumpy arms and you have it's way more technical making a person than the making a terrain. Unless you wanted your heel to be at a certain arc and all this other shit. But other than that, I mean your terrain is not supposed to be perfect like flat because outside the ground isn't perfectly flat. You know, it got bumps and grooves and shit. So it's like you can get away with, you know, making whatever as long as it looked believable. You know what I mean? But here was like on some way different technical shit. And it's way technical doing this. I mean, this shit is super technical. I mean, this shit is super technical. So it's just like I never got a chance to get involved in that the whole like world displacement, tessellation. Well, I kind of did to get into the tessellation of the shit, but it wasn't as much as I wanted to. But I don't know. But I kind of looked at myself in the camera and shit, and I'm saying all this stuff about like the whole growing up and racism and how dude was acting like he was dismissing the black chicks and their experiences and shit. It's just like Duke Nukem. Duke Nukem was a motherfucking dude. You know what I mean? I remember my friend who was black named Roosevelt in the suburbs. He introduced us to Duke Nukem. We was like, what is this? I remember we was going to school that time. And he was like, because I was like, what is Duke Nukem? He was like, oh, it's this game I'm playing. And he was like, it was cool. And, you know, the whole thing. And so, you know, I played it. And I was like, you know what I mean? Like, it was alright. But when Duke Nukem Time to Kill came out, I bought that. Well, my mom bought it for me. But yeah, Duke Nukem was the dude. You know what I mean? Like I said, Time to Kill because he was in third person. I'm not a first person fan. But one of the games that I want to play, even though I think is a little overhyped, which is Cyberpunk. Let's see if it lives up to the hype. I mean, hell, I'm like, look, let's see it lives up to the hype. Let's just see. But if people start going in on it, then I'm gonna be like, it seems like they're going way too far in, because of the creator. That's how I'm gonna be looking at it. I'm gonna be like, dude, Mike Pondsmith, man, y'all going a little too hard on him. I wonder why. But I look, all bullshit aside, and I'll be directing this to just look. I'm not a first person fan. Whoever likes first person games, that's cool for you. But I'm like, fuck first person all day. Even that I tried to get into Deus Ex. But that time when you gotta go into the police station and find how to get to this thing to put the recording device, I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I saw on the internet, I saw on YouTube, you gotta crawl in a vent. I'm like, okay. Some people was even saying like, oh, I almost quit this whole game because of this mission. And I'm like, yes. Yes. I was like, I even got it in my folder. first person sucks. So anybody sees that and refers back to this video, you know why? Because I do not like first person games. I even criticized the shit. I think I even fell out with a content creator. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been on this shit before anybody else was. Let me just say she was on some real shit before anybody else was. So I'm like, yo, but I think I fell out with her because she really loves this shit, and I'm like fuck this, because this first person. Why would you make your Witcher game was already in third? Why do you have the possibility to make it in third? You got a photo editor, you got all this shit. Put the shit in third person, but you made it in first. So I'm like, fuck that. Fuck CD Projekt Red. Fuck that. Mike Pondsmith Black. I was gonna buy it off of the strength of that and just not play it, just to support the brother. And then I was like, but then I might tinker with it here and there. Then they brought out Keanu Reeves. Then I was like, fuck y'all for bringing out Keanu Reeves. I have no choice but to play this shit now. Because Keanu Reeves been my dude since like Point Break, Bill and Ted. What was that? The Replacements, Dracula, all these other new nutsacks coming along because it's John Wick. It's like I've been the fan of Keanu Reeves since forever. But all shit aside, this game, for me personally, will live up to the hype if they turn my ass around. I hope they accept the challenge though, because I hate first person. I don't like the whole floating gun shit. And the cyberpunk genre is up my genre. I've seen Johnny Mnemonic in '95. I remember renting the tape. I think the tape was orange from Blockbuster. See, that's what I'm saying. Me and Keanu Reeves go back decades. Like I don't know the man. I'm just saying. But if Cyberpunk wins me over, then I'ma just put up my hands and be like, okay, alright, Cyberpunk and CD Projekt Red, I see you. Mike Pondsmith, I'll salute him, and whatever else, you know what I'm saying? I would even, if I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna even somewhat might go as far as, if this game wins me over, I would buy The Witcher 3 and play that shit. I never played The Witcher. Everybody talks about how good it is. I don't like that time period, but I'ma just have to, cause they won me over. If they win me over, then then the game lived up to the hype. But I do not like first person shooters. I do not like that shit. Because mostly everything everybody consumes is in third person. The TV shows, the movies. The only movie came out that was first person was called Hardcore Harry or something like that. But I'm buying it though. I'm buying it. I'm skeptical. If it's anything like whatchamacallit, Deus Ex, then it's like, And Square made that too, and I'm a Square fan. When it was Squaresoft. But I'm gonna be like, whoo. But I do not like first. Now my friend Sean, he plays Killing Floor and shit. Like I said, me and first person ain't a fan. Like, nah. I mean, I played GoldenEye. I never owned it, but I was going over people's houses. People was playing it. That was a big game back then. Perfect Dark. I was getting killed in that game with Sean, but that was pretty much it from like that 2000 2002. The next time I played a first person was 2010, and that was Mirror's Edge. Halfway, now I wouldn't say halfway through that. I would say like a couple missions in, I was like, I can't do this. And it's not like I get motion sickness. It's just I just don't like the whole, like, you can't see like the character. You can't see who you're controlling. You can't see shit. I just don't like it. And the whole argument, like I said, like, see, this is a problem with people on the internet. When I brought up this whole thing, like, you gonna have a character creator, but you can't see the character you create, that's bullshit. Somebody was like, oh, you just want to play dress up. Motherfucker, didn't, why they put that shit in the game? They should just had a basic bitch and a basic dude and then let the shit go. Why you spending all this time on making a character that you can't see most of the time? That shit was dumb. And then me making my own shit, I have to play dress up, bitch. That was one of the dumbest things I heard. I'm like, huh? And then, like I said, I play games with character. My favorite games is when you could get to customize and create characters. And then you're going to see, but see, the motherfucker didn't know me. You see what I'm saying? Like, I create characters. I design them shits. Like I said, I got like in just in here alone, I got over 220 characters. And I have the clothes, put clothes on most of them. Like, because I haven't even worked on their clothes, so I have to play dress up by default. So to say some shit like that was like, come on, bro. You don't know me. You don't know to get down. And I just took offense to the shit with Cyberpunk. But like I said, though. And then, here's another thing. The way the game looks, it's almost winning me over now. Almost. Almost. So playing it is gonna be like on some different shit. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna have a female character. I'm gonna play with a female first. Like, cause I just like female characters. So anybody say anything? Wait, how many more I gotta do? Wait, didn't I just do this? No. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 more to go. God damn. So yeah, yeah, anybody say some shit? What? Oh. Yeah, that's the get down. I'm gonna have a female character. Always play with female characters. Unless I'm forced to play with a dude character or something. But most of every time I would get a chance to, I play with the female characters. GTA got female characters. I mean, I added myself in it, but I rarely play as myself. Hell, even in my own game, I wouldn't play as myself as much as like I would play with the other female characters. I mean, it would be cool to see like, oh shit, look at that. Like, look, seeing myself, but I mean, I see myself all the time. So that's just gonna be like whatever. Anywho, yeah, I'm about to. If I did this before, it's just like fuck it. I'm gonna just do it again. So kind of thinking, didn't I just do this? I think I did. But like I said, it don't matter. It matters nothing. It matters nine. Come on, get out of here. Just slow ass shit. Oh, wow. Any fucking way. Wow. What's next? Oh yeah, and then thinking about Duke Nukem, he was a misogynist. Like looking back at that shit, shake it, baby. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nobody thought about that shit like that. Like stick it out and blow it up your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like yo, baby, shake it, baby. Yo, that was funny. But like I said, thinking about it now, it was like, yo, they got away with that. Nobody ain't say nothing. Nobody, and you know what the crazy thing about the internet is? It's so, like the things that we, cause I would like, again, I was watching, um, Barack Obama on Complex, and he was talking about when he used to watch, you know, he was watching a James Bond movie because he liked the old James Bond. Sean Connery just passed away, and he was like looking at it. He was doing some misogynistic shit, and it's like, yeah, he was, but nobody said nothing. People just watched it. They thought he was cool. He got the ladies. That's just how it was. Now you're looking at it in a different, you're looking at it differently. And you wouldn't want your daughter, if you had one, to be subjected to James Bond's wooing tactics. You know what I'm saying? But nobody thought about it like that. Like Duke Nukem. I mean, you go to the stripper, I think in the PC they didn't have any like pasties or nothing, so it was just bare titties, and you just be like, shake it, baby, and just constantly keep doing it. Now, it just his character wouldn't fly right. You know what I mean? Cause it'll be all types of shit. Now, if they, even if, even if they made Duke Nukem into a woman, like they had a female Duke Nukem, if it's not in first, I would play. I would buy it, but I would. But even still, I wouldn't be mad about it. I'd just be like, they got a female Duke Nukem, like his daughter or some shit. I wouldn't be complaining about it. The funny thing is other people complaining about it. That's the funny thing. Like, it would just be like whatever for me. But even still, Duke Nukem was doing some crazy shit. I mean, but would I play it? Yes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit up there and be like, oh, he's too misogynistic to play. I mean, that was part of the games we used to play, but I see the whole thing now when I didn't see it before as a kid. You know what I mean? Even the whole Mortal Kombat controversy, like, oh, they're not, the chicks are not like showing their thighs, and I'm like, I mean, that's how they want to get down. That's how they get down. That's not gonna be on me. I mean, I'm not gonna be. I got all these characters. You think they all gonna dress the same? And if somebody don't like it, I mean, that's just. I mean, there's like, I got over 1,000 characters. 200 and over 226 in here. I mean, I'm not. I mean, what is that gonna do? You know what I mean? I'm like, there's just gonna be so many characters. It's like you can't say anything. I mean, some characters like being objectified, some don't. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's just, it doesn't affect me. Not in that way. But again, I do recognize why women are like saying stuff about it. Because it's like some chicks get tired of the shit. Like, I mean, I've seen, even with the female characters that I got in GTA, I mean, you see the humping motion behind the character that I got. I mean, I've seen it. I understand it. It's just, people should just chill, man. Some real shit. Oh my god, look at my phone. Can you get out of this? Thank you. Damn. Oh, man, you stuck on stupid. What is this? I was like, what the fuck? Then I remember they were saying how GTA 6 wanted more materials and shit. I'm like, Man. It's like actually seeing how this shit goes. Could you imagine that? Mm. Like, see, and that's the thing. See, seeing how this goes, it's like I want to know. I really want to know how was GTA 5, just GTA 5 alone, or just maybe GTA 4. But I would say 5 because they're online. Like the online character has a lot more nodes attached to it than 4 did. And it's like I really want to. I'm curious to how that shit looks. Like the blueprint nodes and that's I'm pretty sure that's tied to the character. Just just the whole like just the nodes attached to the character. The nodes, just how many like materials are in the game, and then they saying they wanted more of them shits. It's like wow, you know what I mean? Like that's that's interesting to me because when I even started doing this shit, I was like, damn, could you imagine like a game like GTA? And like how far is they? Because their node system is just like I said, this is just basic material. Like I'm not trying to do anything super crazy. But then if you imagine like any game, especially like now, and how crazy that would be just it would just be like some real shit. Just any game period. But like especially like something like Cyberpunk, you got a massive open world game that's on some for real shit. That's really crazy. You know? Just to see how all this works. And like I said, this is just like a training. This is a learning training exercise so I could get used to this whole material shit and then trying to get what's it called? Acclimated to just the whole thing so it won't be intimidating. And so if I'm gonna like make some nodes somewhere, it wouldn't feel like a chore. Like I don't know what I'm really doing, and I don't know how I'm gonna do this. It would just be like I could get it in now, because as you see, I did like what 20 of them here. In the last video, I did like enough of them, and then they turned purple because I moved the file. But like, yeah, this is what's up to me, and trying to learn how to like, cause I'm somewhat slow and methodical a little bit, and it's like when you deal with this in like the video game industry, you can't be like slow. That's why they talk about the crunch. See, and then even if I had my own studio, I get some people. There would be no crunch because I did damn near all y'all job anyway. So you just basically coming in on some like regular shit, and I don't plan on this game coming out for like decades later. So it's just like there will be no crunch. There'll just be like, it's just on some regular shit. I ain't trying to be no slave master. I mean, people could take it easy and shit. I've been treating my staff to like different escort services. Like, yeah, bring them chicks in here on our break. You know what I'm saying? Like, come over here and booty me down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be treating my staff good. You know what I mean? Cause what else is there? There's nothing else for them to really do except for like code and everything. I mean, mostly everything else is finished. Cause like I said, I didn't even go into Unreal because I can't. OBS can't record Unreal, or it wouldn't work. But there's some Unreal shit that I've done. You know, just like the whole size of the actual map of the country, like like all 8 countries. You know, just expand them shits to be like the size of a real country. Give me the processing power and shit, and it's a done deal. See, that's what I'm saying. Because I'm not looking for this game to be on the PlayStation 6 or the PlayStation 7. I'm looking for this shit to be on like 8 or 9. By then, the technology would be so awesome you can put a whole physical planet in the shit as an open world and just keep it rocking. You know, you heard this here first. I'm not trying to make just an open world on an island. I'm talking about a whole planet with whole countries, because the characters can fly and teleport amongst the other things they can do. It wouldn't feel like, I mean, you could fast travel and immediately get to the place, like another country over, and it shouldn't be no loading time because we're talking about the PlayStation 8 or 9. Think how far technology would come if we're still here. How far, like, along that would be. So you can fast travel like super quick. And that's basically what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So somebody be like, "Oh, I came over the whole planet here." Nope, I came out. The idea, the idea is mine. So don't sit up there and try to lie and steal. But I'm up here trying to make a whole planet. So it's like the size and the like bumpiness of the country is there. You know what I mean? It's just not attached to the seafloor. Cause I don't know how to do that. And it seems like I would have to import, like make them a was it OBJ or FBX file and import them in here and then do that way. I'm not sure, but as of right now, I'm leaving it alone. But I mean, there'll basically be nothing for my staff to really do except for help me make more buildings, which I'm going to get into, Lord willing, next year. And I think I'm cool on that aspect. Like, there's nothing to worry about. Like, hearing this shit now, it's like, oh, you trying to make a whole planet? Oh, that's impossible. Even though I kind of think it's not impossible now. I mean, with servers and shit, and like, and then they saying the SD drives are fast, but we're talking about from the PlayStation 5 to the PlayStation 8 or 9. That should be like an achievable goal. So that should be what's up. Doing some shit like that. Cause you know what, another part of the dream. Cause I remember me and Sean was always saying that we wish that we can go into every building. And I heard recently some dude on CD Projekt Red saying you can go into enough buildings, but nobody truly wants to go into every building. And I'm like, bullshit. I would. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, it would be like tiring, like you actually going to every building, but just the option there's like, I can if I wanted to. It's just like one of our, like, we always wanted something like that. You know what I mean? So I'm on the thing like, look, I'm gonna try to make it so you can go in every building, cause I mean, seeing how it's made, that's actually possible. Just to make every building and every interior you can go in, but like game wise, who knows if the system can handle that? Again, I'm talking about PlayStation 8 or 9 or whatever the Xbox is. And of course somebody gonna be like, oh, but you said PlayStation and Xbox sucks. How they handled the 5 and Series X1, whatever the fuck it's called. Yes, you pay this much money. It shouldn't have these many problems, and everybody's having these same similar issues. But like I said, I like the PlayStation. Not shitting on Xbox, but I mean, not shitting on Xbox. I had the PlayStation before the Xbox came out. I had the one back in like '96. There was no Xbox then. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of like first come, first serve. See, I mean, like I even got the PlayStation mug. You know what I mean? I like PlayStation, so I'm not excluding Xbox. But that's my thing, dude. I'm like, that's the get down. I'm trying to like wait till the PlayStation 8 or 9 or whatever powerful system is out at the time that can handle my shit. These floors are not white, but I'm gonna just call them that. Oh boy. Oh, wait a minute. No. Go back. Oh, shit. Yeah. Like I said, I gotta go back and do all that fake user shit. Anyway, I'm out this bitch. See y'all maybe tomorrow. But I'm out.